Question number 1. Renewable energies generate from natural sources that can be replaced over a relatively short time scale. The following are examples of renewable energy resources, except examples of renewable energies include solar, wind, hydro, geothermal, and biomass. Great thinking. Fossil fuels is the right choice. Question number 2. Iron ore is mined from the earth to produce steel for making cars, trains, buildings, and even paper clips. Iron ore is one example of a dash. Sharp thinking. Non-renewable resource is the right choice. Question number 3. Unlike dirt, soil is a rich organic matter formed in a process that takes hundreds of years. Soil is one example of a dash. Nicely done. Non-renewable resource is a solid answer. Question number 4. The amount of nitrogen in the atmosphere is maintained by a biological cycle which involves two processes. First is to withdraw nitrogen from the atmosphere, and secondly to add the same to atmosphere. On track. Nitrogen fixation and denitrification is the correct answer. Question number 5. Electric power and energy can be harnessed from moving water. Hydroelectricity is one example of a dash. Smart pick. Renewable resource is the correct choice. Question number 6. Petroleum is extracted from the land with large drilling rigs. Petroleum is one example of a dash. Excellent. Non-renewable resource is a brilliant choice. Question number 7. Organisms that break down dead plants and animals and release nitrogen back into atmosphere. Dash. Great job. Bacteria is the accurate answer. Question number 8. Humans rely on many plants for food and other products. Plants are one example of a dash. Valid point. Renewable resource is true. Question number 9. Dash is the protection, preservation, management, or restoration of natural resources. Solid response. Conservation is a valid choice. Question number 10. A forest of trees can be regrown in about 65 years. A forest is one example of a dash. Nice work. You chose renewable resource, and it is correct. Question number 11. Coal can be burned to provide power and electricity. Coal is one example of a dash. You're right. Non-renewable resource is the correct answer. Question number 12. Electric power can be generated with wind turbines. Wind is one example of a dash. You chose renewable resource, and it is correct. Question number 13. Non-renewable energies come from resources that are not replaced or are replaced only very slowly by natural processes. The following are non-renewable energy sources except. Perfect. Geothermal energy is the correct choice. Question number 14. Materials found in nature that are used by living things to meet their needs. Exactly. Natural resources make sense and it is right choice. Question number 15. This type of renewable energy converts the power of the wind to electricity. Right choice. Wind turbines is the best answer. Question number 16. Solar power can be obtained from the sun. Sunlight is one example of a dash. Right again. Renewable resource is a valid answer. Question number 17. Fossil fuels are inexpensive to obtain and use. Is this a pro or con? Bravo. Pro is the answer. Question number 18. True or false? Most of the energy used comes from renewable resources. Clear logic. Your choice false is sound and 100% true. Question number 19. Natural resources are materials or substances that occur in nature and can be used for economic gain. Which of the following is an example of a natural resource? Well reasoned. Coal is the correct choice. Question number 20. What other natural resource is wasted while processing tar sands? Strong choice. Water is the right answer. Question number 21. The Jones family cares about the environment. They run their dishwasher only when it is completely full. Which of the following best explains why they do this? Smart move. To conserve water is an accurate answer. Question number 22. Which of the following does not threaten water as a resource? Correct. Forest fires is the right answer. Question number 23. What is something non-metallic mineral resources are used for? Excellent choice. Building materials is the right answer. Question number 24. Hydroelectric plants perform which type of energy conversion? Correct response. Water to electricity is the most accurate answer. Question number 25. The advantages of solar energy include the fact that it is. Good job. Your answer non-polluting works well here. Question number 26. Is the energy generated from the sun by using solar panels? Well done. Solar is the right choice. Question number 27. Residents of these countries consume fewer goods, generally have a more moderate standard of living, and have less cash influence to buy lease equipment. Good thinking. Developing is the right answer. Question number 28. Which type of resource will help our environment the most? Well picked. Renewable is the correct answer. Question number 29. According to Lindemann's 10% law, what amount of energy will be present at the level of primary consumers if the plants produce 4,000 kcal of energy? Nice selection. 400 cal is the correct and valid answer. Question number 30. Colby needs to fill up her car's gas tank because it is almost empty. What type of natural resource is she using to fill up her car's gas tank? You got it. Your choice, non-renewable resource, is right. Question number 31. A farmer decides that he is going to produce his own energy on the farm by using a type of renewable energy. The renewable energy could come from dash. Good job. Your answer, setting up wind turbines, works well here. Question number 32. What are the substances that exist naturally on Earth and are used by humans for things like eating, drinking, making products, and producing energy? E. Nice selection. Natural resources is the correct and valid answer. Question number 33. How much of the atmosphere is composed of nitrogen gas? Well reasoned. 78% is the correct choice. Question number 34. The fuel for nuclear fission in nuclear reactors is? Smart move. Uranium is an accurate answer. Question number 35. Fossil fuels are renewable resources. True or false? You got it. Your choice false is right. Question number 36. What sews the symbol in the side of a container mean? You chose recycle, and it is correct. Question number 37. What source of energy can make a pinwheel spin? Nice work. You chose wind, and it is correct. Question number 38. Occurs when trees are clear-cut for human uses? Smart pick. Deforestation is the correct choice. Question number 39. Natural gas is a dash energy resource. Right again. Non-renewable is a valid answer.
Question number 40. Which are ways we use fossil fuels?
You're right. Cars and heat is the correct answer.
Question number 41. What is a drawback of wind energy? Correct response. Birds' deaths is the most accurate answer. Question number 42. Energy can be classified into dash. Valid point. Renewable and non-renewable is true. Question number 43. Are replaced through natural processes at a rate that is equal to or greater than the rate at which they are used, and depletion. Exactly. Renewable makes sense, and it is right choice. Question number 44. The phosphorus cycle differs from those of carbon and nitrogen, as well as those of sulfur, oxygen, and hydrogen in that it lacks. Well picked. Gaseous phase is the correct answer.
Question number 45. Natural resources are things from nature that we use. You can't live a single day without using hundreds of Earth's resources.
On track. True is the correct answer. Question number 46. Oil comes from deep underground. When people have used all of the oil on Earth, it will be gone. What kind of resource is oil? Perfect. A non-renewable resource is the correct choice. Question number 47. Wind turbines are an example of. Excellent choice. Renewable energy is the right answer. Question number 48. Where are tar sands plentiful? Good thinking. Canada is the right answer. Question number 49. If an ecosystem is composed of only 3 trophic levels, then how much energy will be conserved at the higher trophic level? Excellent. 1% is a brilliant choice. Question number 50. Oil, natural gas, and coal are known as dash because they were formed from dead plants and animals over millions of years. Solid response. Fossil fuels is a valid choice. Question number 51. Fill in the blank. Most of the energy that people use is from non-renewable resources like coal, natural gas, and dash. Sharp thinking. Petroleum is the right choice. Question number 52. Which one of the following animals may occupy more than 1 trophic levels in the same ecosystem at the same time? Well done. Sparrow is the right choice. Question number 53. Layla is planting a tree to help reduce trees lost during a forest fire. What type of natural resource is a tree? Strong choice. Renewable resources is the right answer. Question number 54. A natural resource that can't be easily exhausted because it's replaced in a relatively short amount of time is? Nicely done. A renewable resource is a solid answer. Question number 55. Farmers increases their use of pesticides, herbicides, and fertilizers. What type of pollution would this cause? Right choice. Toxic is the best answer. Question number 56. Fossil fuels are natural fuels formed in the earth from dead plants and animals that are millions of years old. Great job. True is the accurate answer. Question number 57. We dig metal out of the earth to make steel for buildings, cars, and buses. Metal is a non-renewable resource. Correct? True is the right answer. Question number 58. Soil is formed by the breaking down of rocks by the action of wind, water, and climate. This process is called clear logic. Your choice weathering is sound and 100% true. Question number 59. What is a natural non-renewable fuel that formed over millions of years from the remains of living organisms? Bravo! Fossil fuels is the answer. Question number 60. As a ball falls toward the ground, the ball's potential energy decreases as it converts to kinetic energy. Great thinking. True is the right choice. Question number 61. A dash are natural resources that are being used up faster than they can be replaced by natural processes. Smart pick. Non-renewable resources is the correct choice. Question number 62. Which process is used to extract metals from their ores, which is a significant use of natural resources? Great job! Smelting is the accurate answer. Question number 63. What is the process of combining nitrogen gas with other elements to make nitrogen into usable compounds? Strong choice. Nitrogen fixation is the right answer. Question number 64. Chemical reactions involving sunlight, air car exhaust, and ozone cause which of the following to form? Correct. Smog is the right answer. Question number 65. Are resources that can be replaced by natural processes in a relatively short amount of time? Solid response. Renewable resources is a valid choice. Question number 66. I am a solid, mined from the ground, made from ancient dead trees, a non-renewable resource. What am I? Excellent. Coal is a brilliant choice. Question number 67. Which of the following means of transportation uses a renewable resource for its energy source? Nice selection. Solar-powered car is the correct and valid answer. Question number 68. Renewable resources can be depleted if they are used too fast, which is an example of depletion. Nice work. You chose deforestation, and it is correct. Question number 69. Which process in the nitrogen cycle is carried out by bacteria in the root nodules of legumes? Excellent choice. Nitrogen fixation is the right answer. Question number 70. A resource that is not easily replaced and will take a very long time to get more of dash. Right choice. Non-renewable is the best answer. Question number 71. What is the term for the circulation of water between the Earth's surface and atmosphere? Smart move. Water cycle is an accurate answer. Question number 72. Resources that are not able to be reproduced as quickly as they are used are called dash. Clear logic. Your choice, non-renewable resources, is sound and 100% true. Question number 73. Which process involves the conversion of atmospheric nitrogen into nitrates by bacteria? Well picked. Nitrogen fixation is the correct answer. Question number 74. After plants and animals contain nitrogen, what puts it back into atmosphere and soil? Nicely done. Decomposition is a solid answer. Question number 75. Which of the following are natural resources that can be replaced within a lifetime? Good thinking. Renewable resources is the right answer. Question number 76. Dash is an energy resource that will not run out in the next several hundred years. Right again. Renewable energy resource is a valid answer. Question number 77. What does plants take in from the atmosphere during the process of photosynthesis? You chose carbon dioxide, and it is correct. Question number 78. Inverted pyramid of biomass can be traced in which one of the following ecosystem? You're right. Ocean is the correct answer. Question number 79. True or false? It is possible to make more non-renewable resources in our lifetime. Perfect. False is the correct choice. Question number 80. As an object's distance from the ground increases, so does its potential energy. Point. True is true. Question number 81. What is the primary method used to extract oil from beneath the Earth's surface? Great thinking. Drilling is the right choice. Question number 82. What kind of resource can be regenerated or replenished by biochemical cycles? You got it. Your choice A, renewable resource, is right. Question number 83. Resources that can be replaced within a human lifetime and we won't run out of. Correct response. Renewable resource is the most accurate answer. Question number 84. What is the term used for rainwater that flows over the surface of the ground? On track. Runoff is the correct answer. Question number 85. Why do we tend to use non-renewable resources instead of renewable resources? Bravo, all of these is the answer. Question number 86. Any valuable material of geologic origin that can be extracted from the earth? Exactly. Natural resources make sense, and it is right choice. Question number 87. What is the primary reason for conserving biodiversity in natural ecosystems? Well reasoned. To maintain ecological balance is the correct choice. Question number 88. Which of the following is a synthetic product made from petroleum? Good job. Your answer, all of the above, works well here. Question number 89. The dash used to make furniture, paper, cardboard, and other timber products. Well done. Wood is the right choice. Question number 90. Are exhaustible and are extracted faster than the rate at which they formed. Sharp thinking. Non-renewable is the right choice. Question number 91. Which of the following is not a short-term health effect of air pollution? On track. Lung cancer is the correct answer. Question number 92. I-dash include fossil fuels such as coal, oil, natural gas, and minerals. You got it? Your choice, non-renewable resources, is right. Question number 93. Which process is responsible for the removal of topsoil by wind and water? Well done. Soil erosion is the right choice. Question number 94. Which process is primarily responsible for the formation of fossil fuels? Great job. Decomposition is the accurate answer. Question number 95. To protect resources and avoid wasteful and destructive use is to? Correct response. Conserve is the most accurate answer. Question number 96. Which of the following would you never find naturally in the environment? You're right. Plastic is the correct answer. Question number 97. A resource that is replenished very slowly or not at all. Limited supply. Perfect. Non-renewable resource is the correct choice. Question number 98. Natural resources that are used up faster than they can be replaced are. Good thinking.
Non-renewable resources is the right answer.
Question number 99. Which layer of the Earth's atmosphere is closest to the Earth's surface? Bravo. Troposphere is the answer.
Question number 100. What is the primary reason for the depletion of non-renewable resources?
You chose overconsumption and high demand, and it is correct. Question number 101. Which of these alternative energy sources could be used to power a car?
Strong choice. Biofuel is the right answer.
Question number 102. The process in which nitrogen circulates and is recycled is called dash. Valid point. The nitrogen cycle is true. Question number 103. What is an example of a renewable energy source mentioned in the text? Excellent. Wind is a brilliant choice. Question number 104. Which process is responsible for the cooling effect in the atmosphere?
Good job. Your answer evaporation works well here. Question number 105. Which of the following is an example of a renewable natural resource? Great thinking. Wind energy is the right choice.
Question number 106. Which of the following processes releases oxygen into the atmosphere? Well picked. Photosynthesis is the correct answer.
Question number 107. Which of the following gases is used by plants during photosynthesis?
Sharp thinking. Carbon dioxide is the right choice. Question number 108. We can dash natural resources by not using them up or damaging them. Exactly. Conserve makes sense, and it is right choice. Question number 109. A resource that we can use more than once is called a dash resource. Solid response. Renewable is a valid choice.
Question number 110. Which process in the water cycle is responsible for cloud formation?
Smart move. Condensation is an accurate answer.
Question number 111. Anything occurring naturally in the environment that humans use?
Right choice. A natural resources is the best answer. Question number 112. Which element is essential for the synthesis of proteins in plants? Right again. Nitrogen is a valid answer. Question number 113. Which part of the plant is primarily involved in water absorption? Nicely done. Roots is a solid answer. Question number 114. All of the following resources are classified as renewable except Smart pick. Crude oil is the correct choice. Question number 115. What is one property of soil that you can use the sense of sight? Nice selection. Color is the correct and valid answer. Question number 116. Which of the following is a method to conserve natural resources? Correct. Recycling materials is the right answer. Question number 117. Which factor is primarily responsible for the greenhouse effect? Excellent choice. Increased carbon dioxide levels is the right answer. Question number 118. Which natural resource is essential for all life forms on Earth?
Clear logic. Your choice water is sound and 100% true.
Question number 119. Which gas is essential for combustion and rusting of substances? Well reasoned. Oxygen is the correct choice. Question number 120. Non-renewable resources cannot be reproduced once they are used.
Nice work. You chose true, and it is correct.
Question number 121. Which of the following are considered living natural resources?
Right choice. Forests is the best answer.
Question number 122. The natural things that man uses to fulfill his needs are called? Well reasoned. Natural resources is the correct choice. Question number 123. What is a way to get resources from below the Earth's surface? On track. Strip mining is the correct answer. Question number 124. Plants and animals cannot use nitrogen directly from the air. Sharp thinking. True is the right choice. Question number 125. Geothermal energy uses heat from dash to produce electricity. Bravo! The Earth is the answer. Question number 126. Which cycle helps in regulating the temperature of the Earth? Nice selection. Carbon cycle is the correct and valid answer. Question number 127. What percentage of the Earth's surface is covered by oceans?
Nicely done. 71% is a solid answer.
Question number 128. Which gas is released during the combustion of fossil fuels?
Valid point. Carbon dioxide is true.
Question number 129. What is the primary reason for conserving natural resources?
Right again. To ensure sustainable development is a valid answer.
Question number 130. Burning of fossil fuels releases what gas to the atmosphere? Well done. Carbon dioxide is the right choice. Question number 131. Which of the following used a renewable resource for energy?
You chose solar-powered car. And it is correct. Question number 132. Natural resources may be categorized as either dash or dash.
You got it? Your choice, renewable or non-renewable, is right.
Question number 133. Which natural resource is known as the universal solvent? Correct response. Water is the most accurate answer.
Question number 134. What is the effect of eutrophication on aquatic ecosystems? Smart move. Reduces oxygen levels is an accurate answer. Question number 135. The average person uses dash of mineral resources each year. Smart pick. 22,000 acres is the correct choice. Question number 136. Which element is the major component of the Earth's crust?
You're right. Oxygen is the correct answer.
Question number 137. Which of the following natural resources are non-renewable? Great thinking. Natural gas is the right choice. Question number 138. Which gas is essential for the process of photosynthesis? Excellent. Carbon dioxide is a brilliant choice.
Question number 139. Which of the following is a consequence of deforestation?
Good thinking. Soil erosion is the right answer.
Question number 140. What type of resources can be renewed in months or years?
Solid response. Renewable is a valid choice.
Question number 141. What is the primary component of the Earth's hydrosphere? Great job. Water is the accurate answer. Question number 142. What resources are needed in the industry of agriculture? Good job. Your answer soil and climate works well here. Question number 143. Formed from the decayed remains of land plants in a swamp. Perfect. Coal is the correct choice. Question number 144. What is the most abundant gas in the Earth's atmosphere? Exactly. Nitrogen makes sense, and it is right choice. Question number 145. True or false? Renewable resources can never be depleted. Excellent choice. False is the right answer. Question number 146. What is the most abundant global non-renewable resource? Nice work. You chose coal and it is correct. Question number 147. Which layer of the atmosphere contains the ozone layer? Strong choice. Stratosphere is the right answer. Question number 148. Which of the following is a non-renewable energy source? Clear logic. Your choice oil is sound and 100% true. Question number 149. What is one synthetic product that is made from plants? Well picked. Medicine is the correct answer. Question number 150. What hectares of land are covered by the lake in Nepal? Correct. 5,000 is the right answer.
Question number 151 is the conversion of organic nitrogen into ammonia.
Clear logic. Your choice ammonification is sound and 100% true. Question number 152. A resource that cannot be replaced in a human lifetime. Perfect. Non-renewable is the correct choice. Question number 153. Materials in the environment that are useful to people. Correct. Natural resources is the right answer. Question number 154. Which gas is primarily responsible for global warming? Right again. Carbon dioxide is a valid answer. Question number 155. Which process describes water seeping into the ground? Smart move. Infiltration is an accurate answer. Question number 156. What type of resources take millions of years to form? Good job. Your answer, non-renewable, works well here. Question number 157. Which natural resource is used to generate hydropower? On track. Water is the correct answer. Question number 158. Is a fossil fuel a renewable or non-renewable resource? Smart pick. Non-renewable is the correct choice. Question number 159. All of the following are non-renewable resources except. Excellent. Animals is a brilliant choice. Question number 160. The term resource covers everything we use, including. Great job. All of them is the accurate answer. Question number 161. Which of the following is not a biogeochemical cycle? Solid response. Ozone cycle is a valid choice. Question number 162. Which of these is classified as a renewable resource? You got it. Your choice, plants, is right. Question number 163. Which industry makes direct use of natural resources? Great thinking. Primary is the right choice. Question number 164. The living components of the atmosphere are known as. Sharp thinking. Biotic components is the right choice. Question number 165. What percentage of fresh water is available on Earth? Correct response. 2.5% is the most accurate answer. Question number 166. What is the primary source of energy for the Earth? Well reasoned. Sun is the correct choice.
Question number 167. What resources are used for the quarrying industry?
Right choice. Limestone and other rocks is the best answer.
Question number 168. Which industry uses manufacturing and construction?
Good thinking. Secondary is the right answer.
Question number 169. Which of the following is nitrogen-fixing bacteria?
You chose Rhizobium, and it is correct.
Question number 170. Which of the following contains only fossil fuels?
Exactly. Oil, coal, natural gas makes sense, and it is right choice.
Question number 171. What is the primary gas responsible for acid rain?
Nice selection. Sulfur dioxide is the correct and valid answer.
Question number 172. How many species of amphibians are found in Nepal?
Well done. 118 is the right choice. Question number 173. What Virginia resource is used to make countertops? Valid point. Granite is true.
Question number 174. Name a renewable resource that comes from forests.
Nicely done. Wood is a solid answer. Question number 175. The pyramid of number in a grassland ecosystem is? You're right. Always erect is the correct answer.
Question number 176. What are three main ways people can use the land?
Bravo. Mining, development, and agriculture is the answer. Question number 177. Which of the following is not a greenhouse gas? Nice work. You chose ammonia, and it is correct. Question number 178. The best source of energy in the environment is? Strong choice. Trees is the right answer. Question number 179. In ecological succession, saprophytes belong to? Excellent choice. None is the right answer. Question number 180. What % of the land is covered by forest area? Well picked. 44.74 is the correct answer.
Question number 181. Which list only contains renewable resources?
Correct response. Bananas, water, wood is the most accurate answer. Question number 182. Which group includes all renewable resources? Well done. Water, wind, sun, animals is the right choice.
Question number 183. Know of planets on the universe constitute dash.
Valid point. Solar system is true. Question number 184. Which gas is the main constituent of biogas? Right again. Methane is a valid answer. Question number 185. Why do humans make use of natural resources? Sharp thinking. To satisfy their needs is the right choice. Question number 186. Give an example of a non-renewable resource. Solid response. Fossil fuels is a valid choice. Question number 187. Any useful material that is found in nature? Good job. Your answer, natural resource, works well here.
Question number 188. The wise or careful use of natural resources.
Correct. Conservation is the right answer. Question number 189. The soil formed by sand and quartz is called? Good thinking. Sandy soil is the right answer. Question number 190. Which industry produces services, not goods? Right choice. Tertiary is the best answer.
Question number 191. Things found in nature used by living things.
Perfect. Natural resources is the correct choice. Question number 192. Which natural resource is used to make wood?
Nicely done. Trees is a solid answer.
Question number 193. There are two forms of oxygen in atmosphere. Great thinking. True is the right choice.
Question number 194. Which resource would you find on the Earth?
You got it. Your choice soil is right.
Question number 195. What is meaning of 4-RAR principle? Dash.
Exactly. All the above makes sense, and it is right choice. Question number 196. What is the main source of oxygen on Earth? Excellent choice. Forests is the right answer.
Question number 197. Humans can be important natural resources.
Smart move. True is an accurate answer.
Question number 198. Which resource comes from below the Earth? Bravo. Coal is the answer. Question number 199. What are some examples of water resources? Well picked. Rivers, lakes, groundwater, reservoirs is the correct answer. Question number 200. Living organism, air, water, together form. You chose biosphere, and it is correct. Question number 21. Which gas is released during respiration? Well reasoned. Carbon dioxide is the correct choice. Question number 202. Ozone layer is found in which atmosphere? Great job. Stratosphere is the accurate answer. Question number 2 and 3. Which soil layer is known as the topsoil? Nice work. You chose a horizon, and it is correct. Question number 204. What is a non-renewable natural resource? Clear logic. Your choice coal is sound and 100% true. Question number 205. Total Earth surface covered by water is? Strong choice. 75% is the right answer. Question number 206. In an ecosystem, the pyramid of energy is? On track. Upright is the correct answer. Question number 207. There are two types of natural resources. Nice selection. Exhaustible and inexhaustible is the correct and valid answer.
Question number 208. Energy we get from Earth's interior heat.
Smart pick. Geothermal is the correct choice.
Question number 209. Natural resources are those which occurs.
You're right. Naturally is the correct answer. Question number 210. An example of a natural resource is dash. Excellent. Wood is a brilliant choice.
Question number 211. The life on the Earth are called as dash.
Exactly. Biosphere makes sense, and it is right choice. Question number 212. Which of these is a renewable resource?
Nice work. You chose trees, and it is correct.
Question number 213. What is the main cause of soil erosion?
Well picked. Overgrazing is the correct answer.
Question number 214. What is the primary cause of acid rain?
Nicely done. Sulfur dioxide is a solid answer.
Question number 215. Can be replaced within a human lifetime. Great job. Renewable resource is the accurate answer. Question number 216. What can we do to reduce air pollution?
Excellent choice. Use public transportation is the right answer.
Question number 217. Organisms that need nitrogen to survive. Solid response. All living organisms is a valid choice. Question number 218. Oxygen is returned to the atmosphere by. Correct response. Photosynthesis is the most accurate answer. Question number 219. Rocks on the Earth are called as dash. Bravo. Lithosphere is the answer. Question number 220. What resources are needed for mining? Great thinking. Bauxite and gold is the right choice. Question number 221. Earth is the dash planet in universe. Smart pick. 3 is the correct choice. Question number 222. What kind of resource is natural gas? Nice selection. Non-renewable is the correct and valid answer. Question number 223. Which countries can you find bauxite? Correct. Guyana, Jamaica, Suriname is the right answer. Question number 224. What are non-living natural resources? You chose water, minerals, and air. And it is correct. Question number 225. Which one is not a natural resource? Good thinking. Play-Doh is the right answer. Question number 226. Where do you find natural resources? Excellent. In our environment is a brilliant choice. Question number 227. What are the 3 R's of conservation? Well done. All of the above is the right choice. Question number 228. Which of these is a form is carbon? Sharp thinking. All of the above is the right choice. Question number 229. Something valuable that we can use. Strong choice. Resource is the right answer. Question number 230. Who had proposed the term ecosystem? Good job. Your answer, Tansley, works well here. Question number 231. A natural resources comes from dash. Right again. Earth is a valid answer. Question number 232. Where is biodiversity the richest? On track. In tropical rainforests is the correct answer. Question number 233. Air on the Earth is called as dash. You're right. Atmosphere is the correct answer. Question number 234. Nitrification happens in the dash. Right choice. Soil is the best answer.
Question number 235. Bromine and chlorine are known as.
You got it? Your choice odds is right. Question number 236. Water on Earth are called as dash. Well reasoned. Hydrosphere is the correct choice. Question number 237. What kind of resource is the sun? Perfect. Inexhaustible is the correct choice. Question number 238. Which product is made from trees? Valid point. Paper is true. Question number 239. Air cools dash than soil or water. Clear logic. Your choice faster is sound and 100% true. Question number 240. What kind of resource are trees? Smart move. Renewable is an accurate answer. Question number 241. This is a natural resource. Dash. Nicely done. Coal is a solid answer. Question number 242. Earth is called as dash planet. Right choice. Blue is the best answer.
Question number 243. Which gas supports combustion?
Bravo. Oxygen is the answer.
Question number 244. Molecules of proteins contain?
Strong choice. All of the above is the right answer.
Question number 245. Ozone depletion causes due to? Nice selection. Safe C is the correct and valid answer.
Question number 246. Where are fossil fuels found? Smart pick. In the earth is the correct choice. Question number 247 dash is a natural resource. You chose water, and it is correct.
Question number 248. Diamonds and other minerals?
Valid point. Non-renewable is true.
Question number 249. Coal, oil, and natural gas?
Solid response. Fossil resources is a valid choice.
Question number 250. Planets having ring dash? Great thinking. Jupiter is the right choice. Question number 251. The 3 R's stand for? Perfect. Reduce, reuse, recycle is the correct choice.
Question number 252. What are fossil fuels? Excellent choice. Coal, oil, natural gas is the right answer.
Question number 253. What is a resource? Excellent. Something we can use is a brilliant choice. Question number 254. Renewable resources. Great job. Can be replenished is the accurate answer. Question number 255. Rocks are dash?
Well picked. Natural resources is the correct answer.
Question number 256. Ozone? Sharp thinking. Triatomic oxygen is the right choice. Question number 257. How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format?
Smart move. Contact Narayan Chengder on Facebook is an accurate answer.